It's a great trick, it's a great tip for shifting yourself. And as you shift in here, out there becomes easier. That's what I love, is when the actions are easier. There isn't that resistance. From the book Flow, which is a great book. And I've got an idea from this that I'd like to share on how we can all change. Bear with me. Fantastic book. And I like this theory because this helps with internal change work. Just like setting a goal in the book, just like doing something that's too big, we break the rubber band of possibility. It's like too big a task can stop you from moving forward. So what we're going to do in this video today is share with you stepping stones to internal identity shift, because this theory shared in the book will also apply very well to identity change. Jump too big a jump and your brain will not let you go any further, but jump a smaller jump and your brain will start to play nicely. It sounds good, doesn't it? So here's the theory inside Flow. We've got ourselves a chart like this. And this is something I'm going to share in my Bali retreat, which is coming up in Indonesia, flying across there to do a 2-day retreat. And in that retreat, we're going to be using the skills of coaching and blending it together with Bali and the activities you can do there. So people are out of their normal environment, and with it, they bring a different identity to the holiday experience. The idea is to build in some skills inside themselves so they can shift themselves forward. This is the whole concept, but this video is about helping you understand the theory. So flow, I love the word flow. And how do you get into that flow state? So let's go into it. So on one side, you've got this 2 axis. On the first axis, we're going to have what is the challenge, or the task at hand, or the experience. So we'll call it challenge, right? So we have the challenge, and the higher a challenge gets, the harder it is, right? The harder the challenge is. On this side, we have the word skill, right? So the more skillful you become, the more challenge you can probably handle. And so you're becoming more skillful and taking on more challenge. Now, here is the challenge of life. So if you build up some skill and you've taken on some challenge, right? You're over here somewhere, you can start to build the challenge even more. But what we often do is we don't take on any more challenge, and then we go along here and we build more skill. But what happens is, as we go along, we get bored, because we are highly skillful. The further we get along with not much challenge, we get bored. That's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is if you've built up a little bit of skill, not very much, but you take on a huge challenge, what happens? We freak out. What would be a better word for freaking out? I think the better word might be we are in overwhelm. We have anxiety. We are stressed. So I'll use the word stressed. Right? So we are freaking out. We're stressed. So we don't want to be bored, and we don't want to be stressed. So what do? It is an ever-evolving stepping stone. What we do is we build up some skill and then set a challenge, right? Let's say it's up here somewhere. There's this line. I'll draw a line like this. There's this line that happens, and it is the flow state. And you get to know your flow state when you take on challenge. This is the key that you think you might be able to do, that is kind of within your skill set, but is still a bit of a stretch. So we have here the 2 guideposts, and the 2 guideposts, this is where you think you can, and this is where it's becoming a bit easy. And so what you're doing is you set some skill, go and learn something, right? So you learn something, and then you do something, right? So you get some lessons of some sort. If you're learning a sport or you're learning a skill or learning coaching or you're learning whatever it is, and then you set yourself a challenge that is up at the upper end here that you think you can do. This is where you believe you can do it, right? You have belief in yourself. Yeah, I think I can do it. And it's not that far beyond me, right? This is the key. So you've learned something, you set a challenge, and then you set about mastering that level. And then as you come along, as you get to this other area here, you start to become comfortable. So I'll put this comfort. Right, so you start to become comfortable. As you become comfortable with that skill level, there's a little alarm bell we need to ring in our brain that says, ding, 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 it's time to set another challenge up to that belief level, right? So you're now more skillful. You've gone along the skillful range, and now you believe. You have to stretch up the challenge level to then decide, okay, I've got to get beyond what's comfortable and do something I think I could do that's a stretch. Okay, so this is a beautiful stepping stone that's now happening. Now you master that level and you come along, you master it until you get comfy, you get comfortable, and then you set another challenge, right? And so forth and so on. This is the flow state. And if you continue this flow system, this flow workflow, you end up in this incredible place where you're incredibly skillful and you can handle incredible challenge. So this is what I go through in my coaching all the time. I'm always stretching, whether it's learning a new skill or I'm learning how to market, which I'm not very, I'm becoming good at it. I've got to change that language. As I'm learning how to market, I'm learning how to then sell if I'm selling courses, or I'm learning how to build a business, or I'm learning how to best change things for clients. There's this fantastic system. So here's the question for you. Where are you doing this in your life? Where I know I've done this in my work life, where I've built up a certain skill, set a certain challenge, and then I've taken this line all the way into the boredom zone, where I have not set any more challenge for a year or 2 or 3. And with that, you're missing this opportunity to take off in your life. So this is the fantastic theory of flow. Comfort and belief. Comfort and a challenge you believe you can get. Understanding when you have an alarm system of comfort, and understanding when you have an alarm system of belief. So this is what I'm doing when I'm doing coaching work with people. I'm looking at finding ways to help them into flow. Now, here's where I've joined the dots with identity. Identity also has this stepping stone, right? With your identity, you're going to shift it along with the things you're doing every day. And we can also do the internal work, but who you think you are on the stepping stone, your opinion of yourself will change as you go. So this is quite deep. So you might be along here and you're a beginner. Then you come along, you've learned a bit more skill, you've taken on a bit more challenge, and now you might be at that intermediate. And whatever the thing is you're trying to do, and you've got an opinion of yourself. And then we keep on going along this scale, a bit more skill, a bit more time, and then we set another challenge. Here's the thing, with the change work you can do to set off this flow state to happen, if you shift your identity in this flow channel, if your identity doesn't match this flow channel and you get yourself up to this high level, but then you find yourself self-sabotaging back into here, we've got to change and have our identity catch up with us. This is why I love things like the self-concept model, because I know I am and you are and everybody is deleting, distorting, and generalizing. We're all doing it. And so what you want to do is stop that. Well, not stop it. It's going to happen naturally. But what I'm trying to say is you're going to have to extract the good things that have happened so your unconscious can catch up. Maybe it's holding on to something from childhood. Maybe it's holding on to some belief about yourself. Maybe something is driving your bus and it's a 6-year-old version of you that's on the road behind the wheel of your life. If you shift your identity up this scale, you change who you think you are. So if we think about yourself going through this, you might see yourself as courageous. So courage, I'm a brave person, right? This starts to shift who you think you are. And maybe further up on this next level, you might see yourself as an achiever. I don't know, like an achiever. Or maybe it's I'm smart, right? You might change your opinion about yourself. Like it's a useful thing to have. Now, another step up here, you might be that I am a leader, right? By the time you get up here, you might start to believe that you are a leader, right? Now you think about this. If you are going through these steps of changing, you're going through these steps, you're going through the skill, building a skill, doing something about it, setting a challenge. But if you have a belief that you are not a leader, that you are not smart, that you're not an achiever, you're not courageous, that you're weak, your belief is going to keep you down here, right? So your belief about yourself, your identity. So we have to upgrade our identity as our skill upgrades. It's very important. Otherwise, we will not take this vertical leap of faith to belief. The belief of I can take on a challenge. You won't do it and you'll stay down here. So to set a challenge, we've got to shift who we think we are. I love this model of thinking, of both action taking, but also shifting who you think you are. Now, if you think about this, you can apply a stepping ladder on doing some change work internally and measuring your actions to see whether you're aligning with it, because this is why I love the DILTS model. So the flow state, fantastic book. I recommend reading it. You will understand yourself better. Think about you. When you have set the challenge and then stopped the challenge part, then continue with the skill, using that skill. Some people are using this skill for 30 years in a row, the same skill. They haven't stopped and realized, oh, I'm comfy. It's time to increase the challenge. Now, sometimes you could be in overwhelm. That can keep you down here. I'm in overwhelm. I've got bills to pay. I've got family to feed, right? These are things that can keep you here. But if we can continue to, even on a micro level, set another micro challenge, you do 10 different micro challenges and you start to change your skill set. Your skill gets bigger and you can handle more challenge. But we need the identity to come along the ride with us. Every now and then, that's why coaching is so great, is that we can stop and go, oh, something's not right. And you can change your opinion of yourself by simply extracting what you've actually done and realizing, oh, actually, I've put the wrong label on what I was doing. I'm actually better than what I thought I was. It's a great trick. It's a great tip for shifting yourself. And as you shift in here, out there becomes easier. That's what I love, is when the actions are easier. There isn't that resistance that I've had for sure. And I'll continue to have as I take the next step, but the identity has to come up with it. So that's a different video. Lots of things you can do on identity. This is a cool model. I hope it helps you. Flow, where's my book gone? By Mihaly, can't say his last name, lovely guy. But Mihaly, where's his name gone? Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I think I've seen someone pronounce his name, but I'll get it soon. Fantastic book, Flow. Go check it out. Matthew Tate, Fork in the Road. Hope you enjoyed the video.